Okay, we're filming.
Oh.
So we haven't had much time lately.
And life has become a series of appointments.
Yeah. So I think the last video we had a duplex was under contract. That fell through.
Yeah. That was another punch to the gut. Called a contract actually the morning of my oncologist appointment. So we dropped the price $35,000 because we have to sell it like yesterday. And now we are waiting again to see if God brings us a new buyer.
But that eliminated clinics in Mexico because we were going to use those proceeds.
Yeah, that went, dropping the price, that was any profit that we were going to make is now pretty much negligible. And the reason that we did that is because the buyer that had it under contract had a structural engineer out. And this is the second time that there's been like either a foundation company or a structural engineer, and both of them have come back and said the foundation needs $30,000 worth of work. We would kind of argue that a little bit because it's settled, it's been that way as long as we've owned it, and there aren't any problems. I mean, you can own it and rent it out right now and make money and not fix the foundation, but I understand everybody's trying to protect their investment. The other thing we needed to update about was the Reardon Clinic. I had an appointment with them Monday at 8 a.m. and I was really looking forward to that. I was kind of hoping that that was going to give me a good idea of my path forward. They're integrative oncologists, but I know someone who's currently using them, and I kind of talked to her about her experience, and what she shared with me was then confirmed by 2 or 3 other people, unrelated. And so I made the decision to cancel that appointment because they wanted $750 just for the consultation. So I made the decision to save the $750 because it sounded like that would probably be all that I did with them, because their fees, which are not covered by insurance, don't cover any of the recommended therapies that they might want me to do. I would still have to pay out of pocket for all of that stuff. And one person said everything that they do I can do on my own for much less than them. And I talked to a organization last week also called Believe Big, and they offer grants for mistletoe therapy. So mistletoe therapy is something that some alternative practitioners do, and it can be done in conjunction with conventional treatment. They're just injections. That's one of the things that the Reardon Clinic does. And so I talked to this Believe Big. They offer a small grant to help pay for a consultation with a provider and to help cover mistletoe therapy. And the lady that I spoke to, it didn't really dawn on me at the time, but when I talked to her, she knew that I'm, in Kansas City, where we have the Reardon Clinic. Reardon Clinic is actually headquartered in Wichita, but they have a location here in Overland Park, like 35 minutes from our house. And when I talked to her, she really encouraged me to pray about it and to contact a couple of providers on their website that offer telehealth visits. And that didn't really mean anything to me then until later when I talked to more people about the Reardon Clinic, and that was kind of a flag to me that she also was not really encouraging me to go to the Reardon Clinic. In fact, she was kind of discouraging me in a sense. So I took that as another red flag about that. I also went to a support group last week called Healing Strong, and it was good. I didn't leave there with anything super profound. I'll share my experience when I went. So I get there and I went by myself. Jason had other things going on, and I was okay going. I had somebody offer to go with me, but I was fine. So I get there and I watch a few people walk in. Everybody's healthy appearing. They're all older than me, and I go inside, and the woman who hosts it, who co-leads the group, she's got juice made, different kinds of fresh juices. She's veggies, and she made garbanzo bean patties that were like breakfast sausage, but made from plants. And that was really cool. And we're all just kind of in the kitchen visiting for a little bit before the meeting starts, and in walks a young woman who is clearly dealing with cancer. Just wearing a sweatsuit and, you know, stocking cap, no hair, big glasses and slippers, and seeing people like that's really triggering for me right now. And so when she walked in the room, I was kind of like, oh man, that's hard to see. And then we went into the living room for the meeting, and I got to meet her and found out that she has the same type of breast cancer that I do, triple negative. And she now has, she has metastasis to her shoulder blade and her spine. So that was really discouraging. I was, you know, not the kind of stories I want to hear right now. And I know that we're completely different people, and we may not have the same, you know, anywhere near the same experience, but like, we're just really sensitive to stories like that. Good day, Fun Gregory. FYI, you got 2 miles. And she offered to, she's 34. She was diagnosed after her last baby was born 2 years ago. And she's been fighting for the last 2 years, and she's done, it sounds like she's done all kinds of things. She's also gone to the Reardon Clinic. She moved to Florida for 3 months. And that's just, that's all that I know that she's done. She offered to, she told me she'd like to get together for coffee and share with me what she's learned and what she would do differently, which I really appreciate. And at the same time, I'm also terrified. I'm scared to talk to her because I'm kind of scared to hear what hasn't worked for her. Because we may not have the same experiences, and I don't want any, gosh, I feel like my mind is so fickle right now. I don't want any doubt to come from her experiences, because I may have different experiences than her. This is one thing I've learned, right, is that everybody is so different. I mean, we learned this back when Jason had Crohn's and was sick, that each of us have such an individual ecosystem. We are our own ecosystems, right? And so we all respond differently to everything. I mean, food, medicine, everything. And so I'm still kind of on the fence. She was leaving to go out of town on Saturday, and so it's not even an option to see her right now, but I almost want to have somebody else meet with her so they can filter what she shares for me. But one of the things also that she did was this test called RGCC, which the Reardon Clinic does. It's like a $4,000 test, and it's supposed to test for your tumor cells and like what they respond to. And she said hers wasn't accurate, which that's also really discouraging, because that's a test that a lot of functional medicine doctors use. I mean, I hear about this test a lot in all of my research, and I know it's expensive, but to hear that hers was wrong, that's not cool. Yesterday I went and saw a holistic dentist, another friend. She just recently went and saw a holistic dentist, and so she reached out to me to see if I had anything going on in my mouth, any root canals, possible infections, anything like that. No root canals. I have a crown, that's it. I had all my mercury fillings removed a few years ago, several years ago, I don't know. Anyway, so I went and did that yesterday. It was, unfortunately, I guess it was uneventful. Everything looks good in my mouth, which is good, but also kind of discouraging, you know, like every step of the way I'm hoping to find out maybe like a piece of the puzzle that might help me, and I didn't get anything there. I did talk to the other part of their building is a integrative, it's called Integrate, it's a functional medicine clinic, and I stopped and talked to their the lady at their front desk. Also discouraging, she told me, and she said, she came right out and she was like, not to give you discouraging news, but most of our cancer patients spend $12,000 the first month of treatment and $50,000 the first 6 months, which is discouraging to say the least, because we don't have that kind of money, and it's so discouraging how much all of this stuff costs, and that insurance won't pay for any of it. And she recommended like a health sharing ministries like Samaritan Ministries, but none of those take somebody with pre-existing conditions. So Oh, right now we're on our way to see a gentleman. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it because I don't know what he does, but a friend sent me his name and said her naturopathic friend recommended him, and this was right here. This was inexpensive compared to all of these other doctors. Like the one I mentioned yesterday, they want $1,000 for a 3-hour consultation. So this guy was nothing compared to that, and so I don't know what he does, but I'm willing to willing to find out if maybe it could be, if he's got some tools that could help me be in my toolkit. So yeah, we're just about to pull up to his house and we'll see how this goes.
We'll be back.